In this video, we're going to go over using list comprehensions. This is a Python concept, but is very useful in doing Django, especially when you have different types of data and you need to get it into a different format. To start, we're going to do everything in the shell today, so we're going to start out in the shell. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to have a task object, and we're going to get all of the data that we have in our database currently, and we're going to retrieve it as a dictionary object. We do that by doing task.object.values, and if you'll remember from the previous video where we did the values and values list, you'll understand what this is doing. So as you can see, we basically have a list of dictionaries as a representation of that, and so we can actually work on morphing this data into the format that we need. Again, if we'll do a type on this, we'll see that it's actually a values query set object. Since it gives us a dictionary type format in this case, we're just going to treat it as a dictionary for the sake of this video. First thing that we want to do is we might want to get a list of values out of this dictionary. In this case, we might just want a list of titles. So to do that, a traditional way to do it would be doing final data and set it as a list. We'll iterate through each task in our data collection and our data list, and then we'll just append to it the title of the task. And as you can see, we actually get the title of each of our tasks inside of a list. We might take that a little bit of a step further, and we might call the title method on the string, and that'll return back the same list of titles except as a title format where the first letter of each of the words is capitalized. So taking this to the next step, we can actually do a list comprehension, which will slim down the same code, but we'll still get our list of titles. To do that, we open up our list. We say we want the title of the task object, and we're just going to iterate for task in data. We're doing this all inside of the brackets, saying that we want to loop through everything, and then what we get out is the title of our task in a list. So that works like a charm. Again, we can also call the title, and when we run this, you'll notice since we didn't actually call the method, then it gives us back a function for each thing. This is a good point. This is a good way to show that whatever is in the first part of the list comprehension is what you're going to get in your list. So if we run it again, except we call the title, we get all of our titles back with the title format of the strings. The next thing that we'll look at is we can filter out some of the data that we return back to our list. And in that case, since every object has a created date, we want to only pull back data. We only want to get data where the titles are greater than 7 days ago. So if we get our date time using arrow, we say that we want the data from 7 days ago. Then in our list comprehension, we can say that we want the title. We're going to loop through each task in our data. Then we're just going to do an if the created field in our task is greater than the limit that we just set, then we're going to return back that data. And as you can see, we get back just 3 instead of the 7 that we got before. We can do the title on this as well. But we can also return back different formats as well and get our data to look how we want. We might want to actually do this as a tuple where the first thing is the created date and the second is the title. And there we have our list of tuples. But we also might want to do it as a dictionary as well. So if we'll modify this to have a created key and a title key, we'll get back our output of a list of dictionaries with the created and the title. And that's really it. That's really all there is to list comprehensions. Very powerful feature of Python and can be very useful. I find it especially useful whenever I have to deal with CSV imports and I need to work with that data a little bit and massage it before I actually save it to any models. There are many other uses to doing list comprehensions, and these are just a few, and this is just how to do it. I definitely suggest that you experiment and play with it and add it to your tool belt.